Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is September 29th, 2020. My name is Adam, and as always, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, man? It's been a minute, dude. How have you been?
It's it's been a year this week.
Yeah, yes,
it's
it has.
it's been a while. It's been what, July, I think, was the last time we did one of these. It's been a while.
It's been a minute, man. A lot has happened. A lot has happened in the world, but most importantly for this podcast, a lot has happened in our geeky little world, right?
Right.
We got a ton to talk about. But before we get into all that, dude, how it's been a couple months, man. How are you doing? What have you been up to?
I'm all right. I finally got moved out of the just disastrous shithole I was in.
Yeah.
So I now have somewhere with air conditioning just in time for it to get cold. But it also means that there's still heat. It's still over there, not fixed. I'm there technically for one more day because I'm paid up through the end of the month, which is good. I've still got a little bit more to move out, finish cleaning. It doesn't deserve to have a place that's worth refunding a security deposit for, but that's how I was raised. So but it's I'm out of there. I'm in a decent apartment like this for paying just a shade more in rent. Like, this is a nice space. It's everything has its little nits to pick and everything, but all in all, I can't complain. I shouldn't complain. I can complain about anything, but I shouldn't complain, so I won't.
Yeah, and they're a little bit easier on if something goes out, you can get it fixed.
Yeah, because they actually have to be held responsible for things. But it's just,
yeah, dude.
So that's been my last couple weeks have been getting everything moved over here and getting settled and looking at everything I have to sort out and realizing that every time if I ever go back to working in a movie theater here in North Carolina, although tomorrow we should get some news on that, I have to remind myself I have enough posters. I have enough. I have tubes and boxes and it takes up my entire closet. I was like, I'm gonna put my dresser in here and be able to hang up my shirts, and I'll put my couple guitars over here. No, it's all posters. I have posters on the shelf in the closet that I've stuck pencils through the shelves because they're those like slotted shelves. And I've got them sticking up, acting like stops, basically, to keep them from rolling off the shelf. Like, it's just, it's tragic. And I know I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna get more, but that's my biggest thing is now I have to get organized, at least a little organized. Mm-hmm. It's not too bad, but got everything hooked up. We have AT&T internet and TV out here. It's literally the only thing that's here in this part of town. Because Spectrum couldn't be bothered to go another mile and a half, I guess. Mm-hmm. But what are you gonna do? But on the plus side, we've only had it for a day because there was a mix-up in their computer system when I got everything scheduled. Like, hey, this is when we're moving in. Blah blah blah. Oh, okay. Well, that's funny because it's also the earliest day we can get somebody out there to install everything. Hey, great! It all works out just fine. It's perfect. Somewhere between scheduling the appointment and that getting from the AT&T store here, where the people were super nice, super helpful, just a great couple of people in there, handling 3 customers at once, each of them. It was rough, and my hat's off to them. And they were fantastic and really helpful. To that order getting to wherever it was supposed to get to, it didn't. So nobody showed up. And I went back down and I was like, hey, remember me? They're like, yeah, how's everything? Nobody showed up. What?
Oh, wow.
So they got it rescheduled, and the internet, he came out and installed the internet yesterday, and it's been, it's been fine. It's been internet. It works. It's decent speed. It's AT&T fiber, so it's supposed to be a gig. But, it's Wi-Fi, so it's, so nothing in this house is getting a gig download speed. but it's, I mean, it's not bad. It's what you kind of expect as decent internet, really. Um, I'm sure if I
They don't
hard
wait. They don't give you a router.
they do, but like I can,
Oh,
I can plug in devices if I wanted to. It's got, I think,
hmm.
3 or 4 Ethernet ports on the back, but it's a lot of cable, and it's more than halfway down the apartment, and I just don't want to go out and buy like 4 different 50-foot Ethernet cords just to be able to reach down that far. It's just not worth it.
Gotcha.
But
They didn't put it in like a central place, like by your TV or computer.
it's closer out that way because the way the
Gotcha.
apartment's set up is like it's living room and then hallway, and in that hallway is the laundry room where there's also the AT&T hookup, and then
Mm,
towards the back is where the bedroom is.
yeah.
So I'm kind of back here in the corner, but it's, I mean, my speed's fine. Like I'm not complaining. It's
What are you getting?
uh I think it's 35 back here. At least that was
What? I thought you were getting a gig.
it was. It's a gig if it's a gig from AT&T to the router, and then from the router to whatever speed. Back here, when I did the speed test, let me run the speed test on my PlayStation real quick.
Yeah, because I
Because
was.
that's
Well, no, the PlayStation's not a good. No, no, no.
and
So I
that's
guess what I mean by
that
is
yeah.
your download on your computer.
That's the thing. I can run that on my laptop real quick because
Yeah.
I haven't checked it on my laptop. That's what I was just
Gotcha.
basing it on, was the PlayStation, because you hook it up and it tests all the speeds and
It's
everything. And
PlayStation's always going to be slow because they throttle that for you.
exactly. And it was
Yeah.
it was like 34, 35 download, which is,
Mm.
I mean, that's what I'm used to with. I'm used to that over Wi-Fi. I know if
Yeah,
I
but if man, if see, the reason why I'm asking, sorry, is
yeah.
I'm gonna be moving soon, and I'm looking at AT&T, and if you have a gigabyte, you should be getting like 300,
If
400.
and that's the thing. Let me see. Let me run a speed test for my laptop and see what I get. Because
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be a better. Or I know if I
Hmm.
hardwired it. I know if I ran an Ethernet cable to my
Hmm.
PlayStation, I would get way more speed because I did that with the Spectrum internet I had at the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because for my birthday, I splurged on myself and got a 4 terabyte external just to hold
Oh,
PlayStation
nice.
games. And once I started downloading games, I was like, oh, I need to wire this in because otherwise
Yeah.
it's gonna take 6 months.
Yeah.
But I was getting I didn't run a wired test through my PlayStation back when I was down there.
Mm.
But I know it was faster. Like you could, instead of looking at a game and seeing, it's a 25 gig download and it has 12 hours left. It was like, oh, this will be done in hour and a half, whatever. That
Yeah.
kind of deal. Let me see. Let me go ahead and run a speed test here, and it may. I don't know if this will kick me off here or not. It might.
Oh no, we don't have to do it right now. You don't have to worry about it right now. I was just curious because I am gonna be moving soon.
I'm
With
just
the lease and everything. So
I'm just I'm kind of bored. So I'm gonna in terms of just like this gives me something else to do real quick. Um, but let me see. And also my laptop is not the greatest assessor of anything in the world because this thing's from 2012. Like, I mean, this thing is technologically an antique.
yeah. Well,
So
don't get yourself kicked up. I was just curious because
yeah.
I'm gonna be moving myself, and I have Spectrum right now, and so far I'm liking it. I have to be plugged in for like work and things like that.
Right.
So wherever I go, I'll have to, like, even if it costs extra to to have them drop a cable or two. But I was curious what the AT&T with the Wi-Fi is like. But yeah, man, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're in. Glad you're in a place. It's much better than what happened before.
Yeah, man, no kidding. No
A
kidding.
bad landlord
It
is
was
terrible.
yeah, it was trash.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm over here now. It's a decent, like, these apartments are brand new. Like they've just been built. Like I'm still, like, when I went to get in the shower and still had, like, there was still some of the plastic around the base of the shower head. Like it's these
Oh,
things
that's
are
cool.
have just been built. So and I went ahead and ran that speed test. 205 down and 203 up.
Yeah. See,
and
that's
I'm
better.
I'm down at the end from the router. I've got a couple closed doors between me and that. And there's, I think
Yeah.
we have like 5 or 6 devices connected to it right now. So I mean,
Mm,
205 down and 203 up is what it came out to, and
that's not
for
bad.
all of that, with all of this, yeah, I'll take that. And it's what am I paying, 40 a month?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take that.
that's good.
I'll take that in a
That's
heartbeat.
good. Yeah. Yeah, man.
But
That's awesome.
yeah, but I know if I wired it in, it would be like, oh, so you want to download the internet? All right, give me a minute. Like,
hmm Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Uh, but yeah, man. Last few months have been pretty good. I have been pretty obsessed with Warcraft. I have
yeah, fair.
just fallen into a hole with that. But yeah, I have like a found like a good guild that's here in Florida, and
Nice, nice.
yeah, like they're super cool. I even met up with a couple of them here, which was really awesome. Super down to earth. Like that entire game changes when you have fun people to play with. I'm not kidding. I look forward every time I'm logging in because it's all the same cool people. We have a Discord, and it's super relaxed. We're basic. There's a couple in the guild that love to raid, but I feel like everyone's in the guild is my age or even older actually, and they got life, they got families, they got kids. They can't do mythic raids, but we all help each other. We all have fun. It's become like a really cool little community, and like I said, I met up with a couple of them. Went to the bookstore and stuff like that, and it was super super chill, super fun. So I've been loving that, dude. I've gotten so like we're leveling up all these characters. It's we got Shadowlands right around the corner, and so from I imagine most people listening don't play Warcraft, but that's the next expansion, and the pre-patch is like any day now in the next week or so, and then the next expansion is we actually got an announcement that it's October 26th, I believe.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I'll be doing for Halloween instead of risking getting COVID with a bunch of other people. So yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a fun I don't know, distraction's the right word, but it's just been fun to dive into that. But yeah, I fucking love it. I've had a blast. I even like, me, I go crazy. I'll go overboard. I'll start buying things from it. Like I got these Chronicle 1, 2, and 3, which are essentially the lore books that Chris Metzen did before he left. So these like giant coffee table uh, books that are, it's got a lot of artwork and just like, okay, here's the lore from the beginning of time to Warcraft 3. So every once in a while, I've been opening that up. Dude, I haven't touched my PlayStation probably since we've recorded. Just
Damn.
because, yeah, that's how much it changes. Like when you have like,
That's fair, yeah.
yeah, like a really solid. The thing I do miss though is I have some friends that play Destiny, but they don't even play Destiny anymore. Uh, and every time I logged in, they just weren't there.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks. But I imagine with the PlayStation 5 coming out soon, they will be, and I'll be back on it. I just haven't turned it on because anytime I get free time to play a game, it's Warcraft. I feel like there's so much there to do, and I don't feel it's like a double-edged sword. I don't feel like I'm behind because I'm leveled up in the right areas, but it's like there's just so much more that like, oh wow, there's a million things that I can collect right now. Um, and that's what I've been doing. Like I could go into detail about, for example, there was this one pet that apparently has been in the game for a while that no one caught. Not a single person caught this pet. It was a cat named Jennifer. It's also part old god.
Of course,
speaks,
sure, why not?
yes, that it meows and stuff like that, but every once in a while it tells you that your eyes look tasty and that all this crazy old god stuff. But
Sure.
what's so wild about it is it was in the game for an extremely long time and no one found it, not a single soul. No
Really?
one knew how to get. Yes, I felt like this was Ready Player One, where it was like we put an Easter egg in the game, and someone find it, please. And that's literally what they did. And I hope I get the idea that they're going to be doing this moving forward, because there was a group dedicated to finding this cat, like on Discord, and they spent every hour of every day trying to find this cat, and someone finally did. And I'll send you, maybe I'll post the there. I think they did like a Kotaku article, or probably some gaming channel did, about what this person did to find it. And just to briefly summarize what they did is they went. We knew it was a cat because you look up in the pet thing that this cat named Jennifer. So they went to the crazy cat lady that lives in Goldshire. Then they looked at the cat food on the ground. They realized that the cat food on the ground was a map. And then they pulled up Azeroth, and I think they looked at the stars in the game, and they aligned where it's telling them to go. So they found out it was an old dungeon. And in the old dungeon, there's food laid out. They realized that the food laid out was a music. So then they took the music, and then they used the musical notes as a grid for the dungeon. And they decided which food you needed to pick up from that dungeon. And you have 5 minutes to pick up all the food and lay it out in a specific way. And they discovered that you had to lay it out as a specific music note in the game. Somehow, somebody figured all this out. It took them months, literally right before pre-patch, which is about to hit, for them to solve the mystery of Jennifer the cat. So that's one little tiny thing in the game, and that's why I love the game, because you can either just play it and have just a little bit of fun and goof around with your friends and play some dungeons, or you can get crazy like this.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
And it's fun. It reminded me of, like, you hear the stories of EVE Online and stuff like that, of just how the community can take over, and it just gets, like, that's the kind of shit I love. So anyway, more of this. If I could get back to the more, I really love this game because the people I've been playing with, it really changed it. For the longest time, me and a friend would play, they'd quit, I'd get bored and move on, and now I feel like, oh, I have like a whole group of people here that just are just obsessed with it as I am, and they're totally down to earth too. So, but yeah, so that's basically what I've been up to the last couple of months. A lot of Pokemon Go, of course. I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing much. There's been.
Eve's been insane. You're talking about EVE Online. Have you been keeping up with any of the madness going on there?
No, it loses me. I'm like, what is what?
Okay, so for the last little while, there's been this alien invasion that's been going on, and it's just this. I don't think they know where it came from. I don't think they know like what the end game of it is. But it's been this. It's just been this advancing alien horde, and it's just taken over everything. And it came through and conquered what's basically like one of the main trading hubs. So now it's basically made it take, I think it's like 3 times as long, like the main trading route. But it was this whole big crazy ass battle. And then and now there was something I read that one of the old guilds, there was somebody who was fired from one of the in-game companies back in the day, and has since plotted his revenge and created another company. Very EVE Online sounding kind of story. Mm-hmm. But now that's about to come to a head, and it's about to be another giant cluster in the middle of all this that's still going on. It's madness. And it's fantastic to read up on, because it's like, you guys do know you're losing a war right now, right?
It's wild.
Like, all of you as a player community, like this alien AI enemy has come in and is just wrecking your house, right? Just as a collective, you versus them, and you are still with this petty squabble nonsense.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Humans won't change.
That's
the other thing. I've been watching The Expanse on Amazon.
Okay.
And oh my god, dude, it is so good. It is by far my favorite thing on television, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
basically TV wise. It is far and away my favorite show right now. It takes a few episodes to get into. Like, I think I stopped and started at the first 4 episodes a few times because it just takes a little bit of time for you to get your bearings. It seems like a smaller show at the very beginning,
Okay.
but like I know now why they call it The Expanse, because it is the first couple of episodes, the first half of the first season, really. It's just a drop in the world, and it's a series of novels that I think is finishing up this year or next year, and it is just about human civilization in the future that has left Earth, colonized on Mars. So you have humans on Earth, you have humans on Mars, and then you have humans in they call them the Belters. They're on the belt, and so they are more, the ones on the belt are more blue collared workers. They kind of are the ones that are building all of this shit. They're mining water, and that's the other thing, is like resources are a big problem that they argue and fight about, because obviously on Mars there's no natural resource, right? They have to get it from somewhere else. So you basically have these three factions. You have the planet, you have Earth, you have Mars, and you have the Belters. And the Belters feel like they get the scraps. They get nothing. And one cool little thing about this is the Belters have this accent that is made up of like English, Mandarin, Irish, Spanish, and it totally makes sense because it's like, oh yeah, hundreds of years from now, people are going to be so mixed and from so many different places that the language is just going to blur together.
Right, that makes sense.
And it's the workers, so it's there's little things like that I love about it, where I never would have thought about that. But it's like, yeah, if you have a lot of people, hardworking people together, blue-collar workers for all those years, their languages, it's going to blend a little bit. You're going to have, grandpa that speaks one language, grandma speaks another, and you in the middle is going to be a little in between. So anyway, it's fascinating, and it's like this Cold War between these two big factions, and then you have the Belters, and it just blows up from there. It gets so far into not just like them going back and forth with each other. It gets very sci-fi. It goes hard science fiction. I feel like it's the best of both worlds. It is a mixture of you have the drama, like kind of like Game of Thrones, of the characters, but also it gets very science fiction, and it's very careful about how it does it too, because I don't want to spoil too much, but there's a moment in the show where it goes from just about these people fighting and arguing to they've discovered something that is going to change the way everything works. And basically these powers are fighting over it. And this crew, because they eventually become a crew, that's not really that big of a spoiler, that you eventually get your moment where they're all on a ship together, right?
Right.
And it is exactly what I imagine people would want Star Trek in 2020. But it's like Star Trek had sex with Battlestar Galactica and created this beautiful baby, because they'll do things where it's like, we have this big problem and we can't use violence to solve it. How are we going to figure this out when all we keep doing is fighting?
Okay.
And literally, if we keep fighting, we will destroy ourselves. Like it goes so deep into that stuff that it's like, yes, this is exactly what Star Trek tried to be, originally. Even with Next Generation, they had to think outside of the box to solve their issues. Sometimes violence does work, though. But for the bigger issues, it gets so wild. So there's 4 seasons out. The first couple, I think the first 3 were on Sci-Fi. But you can't even you can't tell that it was on Sci-Fi. It's not like the shark movies or anything like that. I see now why Sci-Fi ran out of money making these shows, because it's just so beautifully done. And I think what happened was Bezos was so in love with the show, he just bought it and said, okay, we're going to finish all the books, because he was so in love with it. And I see why. When I watch it, I think of SpaceX. I think of I get that hope of the future. That sounds so cheesy, but I'm not kidding. When I see the intro, and I'm just like, yes, like that. This is my shit. This is my Battlestar Galactica. This is the science fiction that I want to watch.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I can't stress enough. Go try and watch it. Anyone listening that was in love with Battlestar Galactica, this is what you've been waiting for. This is exactly what you've been waiting for. and it reminds me of it in a way where, you know, Battlestar Galactica opened up as this like smaller thing, and then suddenly it got crazy into lore and stuff. Like that's what it does. It's like, what are we stepping into? This it's perfectly named The Expanse too, because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're like, hold. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's so fucking good. But yeah, so anyway, that's on Amazon, all 4 seasons. I don't know when the 5th season's coming out. I know they were. I saw something from Bezos saying he was going to finish it no matter what, so that's a good thing. The other thing I started again was The Boys, which has been pretty good. I watched the 1st season of that.
Yeah, I started watching it, and then I just thought, you know, there's enough of this kind of crap going on right now. I don't need. I can't do like dark or dystopian right now. I just can't.
You're right. You're right. The Boys kind of, yeah. It's at the very beginning of The Boys. It's very much like people are being bullied. The system sucks. The Expanse is kind of like that, but it's so hopeful, especially by the end of the 1st season. Once they kind of get their ship and they get their crew, that's when I was hooked. That's when I was in. So definitely give that a chance. If you want something hopeful, get that in. Oh, and it's got what's his name from The Punisher in it.
Which one?
The one from like 2004. He was in The Mist.
Oh, Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane, yes. Yeah, he's kind of like the actor that I recognize the most, and he kills it in this. He's so good. But anyway, definitely watch it. I'd love to talk to you about it, even if you just watch it slowly or the 1st season. I'd love to come back and I need someone to talk to about this because it's so good. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. Yeah, man. So, dude. Okay, so there's been no movies, right? Like, have you seen anything? Like, did you watch Mulan or did you watch what was it?
I did watch Mulan. It was enjoyable enough. It's a very different. And again, I appreciated it in the same way that I didn't appreciate the new Lion King, because the new Lion King was the exact same movie as the animated.
Okay.
One. I
see they're doing another one.
Yeah, they're doing a Mufasa prequel.
A Mufasa prequel. Yeah, I saw it's set up with Moonlight director Barry Jenkins to helm. To helm it. So
he's doing young Mufasa. So it's going to be the Lion Prince.
Okay.
That'll be different.
Okay, so this isn't like Lion King 2.5 or anything like that.
No, it's pre the Lion King.
Okay.
It's before the kids, the lion before the king. I don't know.
Hey, that might be better. I think people might enjoy that more than this remake because it'll be something they haven't seen before.
Exactly, and I will check that out. I will that actually sounds kind of exciting to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Mulan was a very different film than the original. It's more. I don't want to say it's more serious and make it sound like extra dramatic and stuff, but it is. There's no animated Eddie Murphy dragon. That tells you everything you need to know about the difference in tone, really.
Mm-hmm.
But controversies and everything aside, which all very valid, legitimate points. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a decent movie.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll check it out. I didn't have I know it's like $30, and I didn't. Maybe if I had a few people to watch it with me, I would.
It's definitely one that you need. Like $30 to watch it by yourself is not even I couldn't justify that. It's like, I need to get a few people together, and it's like, all right, so we're all gonna sit down and watch this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it's like. You have to do it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Well, that's good. What have you seen Tenet or anything like that?
No, I didn't go anywhere to watch anything.
Yeah, me either. I plan on getting that whenever it comes on Amazon. I don't even know if the reviews are good for it, but it looked good.
I have purposefully stayed away from reviews of everything because I know we're going to get them eventually. We have to open at some point, but
yeah, I know there's been some big delays.
Yeah, we have a lot of delays. They moved. I think the biggest one for this year that's still coming out this year. I think it's Wonder Woman. They bumped to Christmas.
Okay.
And then next year they moved Candyman to next year. They moved West Side Story from December of this year to December of next year. They moved The King's Man to February 12th of next year. And they moved Black Widow to May 7th of next year.
Oh, okay. Wasn't there a Conjuring movie that was supposed to come out?
There was a Conjuring movie that wasn't made yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I knew it was supposed the Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, the third one.
Yeah, it hasn't been. Okay. I don't know if they had started production and then had to postpone it, or if they've restarted it, or if they hadn't started it in the first place. But it wasn't like I'm pretty sure they hadn't begun production yet.
Oh no! I'm looking at the Wikipedia. It says that they began development, probably not production. You're right, but it said began development in 2016. By June 2017, it was announced that the third installment was in development. And then it was originally supposed to come out September 11th, 2020. But it's now been pushed to June 4th, 2021. I was just thinking the other day of how good the Conjuring movies are. The first one, the second one, and then you have the Annabelle ones and Nuns, which aren't as good, hit or miss. But those the main Conjuring movies are just so good, just so well done.
Yeah, the main two are great, and I would even argue Annabelle Comes Home is not bad.
I saw that one on your.
Yeah,
on your word, it was good.
It's okay. It's not bad. The first Annabelle was not great. Annabelle Origins is better, but that's not saying much. The Nun had potential, but it was really disappointing. And The Curse of La Llorona was a Conjuring movie. It took place in the Conjuring universe, and it was just bad. It was bad. There was a different. I never saw that. Yeah, there is a different. Around the same time, there was a more independent kind of film on the same exact subject material on the Curse of La Llorona, and it's way better. It's an actually scary movie like that. So if that's something you think you might be curious about, check out that one. Don't check out the one that's in the Conjuring universe. Check out the one that's not connected because it was actually good.
Okay, I am looking forward to The Haunting of Bly Manor though.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. That's gonna be good. That's going to be very good.
Yeah, it looks good. Man, I'm excited for Halloween. Can't wait for the spooky stuff. I want some good scary movies, and that I remember when The Haunting came out. I was like, that year that was the scary thing to watch.
Well, I mean, and this year we've got a great treat because we've got Blumhouse on Amazon. They've got a whole partnership for Halloween movies.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think they just released a trailer they did a sequel to The Craft. And I think that was the first. Right. That trailer came out today. I didn't get a chance to take a look at it yet, but I am cautiously optimistic, I'll go with.
Yeah, dude, the Craft Legacy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need to.
Yeah, I have a friend who was talking about seeing that. I didn't even know they were making a sequel. That's awesome.
Yeah, they announced it a little while back, but it was just kind of one of those things of like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, we believe that. And then, oh hey, by the way, what do you know? They actually made it. But
that's awesome.
But yeah, Amazon has a partnership with Blumhouse, and I don't remember how many movies it is that they're gonna have.
8 films.
Is it 8 films this year?
Yeah. Evil Eye, Joey King, Zoo Cork. Oh, no, I'm sorry. These are some names. Sorry, I was trying to go through it because it looked like they were doing the title by title, but these are actual names. Yeah, but it's 8 films. I just don't have the titles all in front of me.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry. The first 4 films are The Lie, Black Box, Evil Eye, and Nocturne. So, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, these, like, I'm excited for this because they're at least going to be interesting.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Blumhouse for sure. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, it looks creepy. Yeah, I'm excited. I love that kind of stuff. It's the perfect kind of year. Cuddle up on a couch, get nice and toasty, watch a scary movie or TV show, even better. Yes, that's perfect time of year for that. Oh, what did I say? I don't know if okay, it's been since we've recorded. I watched Doctor Sleep.
Nice. What'd you think?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was way better than it deserved to be. I don't know what I was expecting watching a sequel to The Shining, but it was surprisingly awesome. It was halfway through. I'm like, did Stephen King make an X-Men story? This feels like X-Men.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, like they're like these two superheroes, or I was like, this is almost like a superhero story. Like, if it wasn't 2020 and it was, let's say, 1984 and they did this, it wouldn't feel like a superhero movie, right? Yeah. But I guess because we've just been so many over the years, it felt like a really good superhero movie. Like, I couldn't help but think, why couldn't Doctor Strange be like this? Like, why couldn't they do a movie like this in the Marvel universe or the DC universe where it felt like this? It didn't. If that's hard, it's hard to put into words, but it didn't feel like a superhero movie, but it totally was. If that makes any sense at all. Like, I felt like I was watching a sequel to The Shining. It had everything to do with The Shining. Actually, like, more with the book, with the magic and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was like, could totally be like a superhero story just without the title of the superhero story, you know? And I loved it. I loved every bit of it. We were hooked. I watched it with my brother and my family. And he usually is not into movies. Like, he doesn't watch television, nothing really. And he was like, this is good. This is really good. Like, we were so into it. We were supposed to leave way earlier, but it was so long, and we were just like, we got to see this to the end. Just when he thought it ended too, it was like it kept going.
Yeah.
But it was a really solid sequel that was a scary movie, but at the same time, it was also kind of a superhero movie.
Yeah. Well, when they decided to make this, one of the things that they made sure they did was they brought, when they finished the script, they brought it to King and said, look, what do you think? As opposed to, because, I mean, you know, famously he hated Kubrick's version of The Shining. You know, there was nothing but contempt there. And he hated the movie. But so when they were like, hey, you know, you did Dr. Sleep and we've adapted it, have a look at our adaptation and tell us what you think. And he was really impressed because it also, it did a little, it fixed The Shining a little bit, the movie version anyway. It helped kind of finish that story. In a way that was a little more true to the book, while also still being unique in and of itself. But they found a way to, I think, what was it that he said? It found a way to redeem The Shining. Yeah. But he signed off on it, and I was like, it's very cool, very cool. It was cool of them to go to him and say, hey, look, here's this thing. You know, right? Obviously this movie was going to get made. We're making it. What do you think about this treatment? And it was very cool of him to be willing to sit down after the experience he had the last time this property was touched.
See, I didn't know that he was on board for this one. I knew that he didn't like the Shining.
Oh God! Hated The Shining.
And it's weird because The Shining, if you look at it as just like a horror movie, it is one of the most classic. Like, when people think back to like what's your scariest movie, a lot of people do say, you know, The Exorcist or something like that, but they also say The Shining. Like, that is a good horror movie by itself, or thriller, or whatever you want to call it. But you're totally right. It is not. It totally diverts from what the book was, and I could see why. It's one of those, like, if you read the book, that's not the book, you know.
Yeah. No, and King that's hated
interesting.
It.
Yeah, it's interesting he was on board for this one. I assumed he would be because it looks, because it's so good. But you're right, and it's way more towards the book. Yeah, man, it was really good. It was really good. I'm glad I watched it. That was one of the. I know it didn't come out this year or anything like that, but that was one of the better movies I've seen this year.
Now, did you watch it on HBO Max?
I think HBO Max or Amazon, whichever one had it. It was HBO, I guess.
Yeah, and then my question is, did you watch the original version or the director's cut?
The original, I don't think it was the director's cut on HBO. I think...
Because I
think it was the regular.
They have both of them on HBO Max. They have the original and the director's cut.
I don't think it was. I don't know. I have no idea.
How? Let me ask you this question. How long was it? About?
It was long. I don't know. I just remember it being really long. I don't think we watched the director's cut, unless you can tell me something that happened in the director's cut that was completely different than the regular version.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know the difference because I've only seen even when I saw it in theaters, we had the director's cut.
Okay. I remember being long. I remember like what it felt like two movies, and then when I thought it ended, like I won't say what happens, but
Yeah,
they're in the middle of the road and something happens. I'm like, okay, this is the ending, and then it's like, no, there's this whole other part.
Nope.
Where they go to some I don't even want to say it, but like it's like, oh, we're here now. This is cool. I didn't know we were going here. And it was like, buckle up because this place brings back some memories. It was good.
It's like, oh yeah, this now this is gonna get interesting.
Yes, yeah. So I was on board. I was excited. I loved it. But yeah, man, yeah. Damn, I went back to The Conjuring, man. I hope they hurry up with that because I really, the atmosphere of that movie is just so good. But anyway, dude, what else has been delayed?
Well, I mean, on top of that, they've delayed the next D23 Expo to September of 2022.
Oh wow!
So that's gonna be a thing.
Yeah,
but
that's good. I saw that there was a convention in LA that they're planning on still doing.
Really?
What? Yeah, it was like it was a comic book convention. Maybe it was in Anaheim. Oh yeah, LA Comic Con is planning an in-person convention this year. I don't know what celebrity's going to go to that to sign anything.
Right.
But yeah, they announced it yesterday. So LA Comic Con. So hey, be smart, people. You know, if you're in LA, God, I would not do that. I know BlizzCon announced that they are planning to do their BlizzCon. Usually they do like around this time of year. They're going to be doing it early next year, February. And they've really only announced like the community stuff so far. I'm sure they'll talk about Overwatch 2. I'm sure they'll go into like what's coming up with the Shadowlands, like a new patch or whatever. Maybe even like some Diablo information. But it's all online next year, and it's all like you can log in and like watch all the videos, and they're still going to do like the community events, like the what do you call it, the cosplay and stuff like that, which is cool. So I think it's cool they focus on the community, because that's, you know, I opened the show talking about how that's the best part about those games, is the people that you meet playing it, and all the people that have gone to BlizzCon since 2004. You know, they've made lifelong friends, so I'm glad they're still doing it. But yeah, some there's still going to be some conventions this year apparently. So yeah, I thought that was wild.
Yeah, that's a hard pass for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. If they said Star Wars Celebration is in Orlando next month, there's no way in hell I'd go to it, and it's in my backyard.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah,
definitely
no. So what else we got?
Well, I think that's, I mean, you know, basically everything, and you know, I mean, on top of those delays, like absolutely everything else has been delayed.
Right.
There's nothing. I think the next movie that comes out is Bond in November, like the next movie of any real importance, I guess. Although there was one, shoot, what was it? There's something coming out Halloween, or it had been coming out on Halloween. I don't know if it is anymore. That I thought was really interesting, and I cannot remember the title of it. It was, I don't know if you'd seen the trailer. It's about a boy who's on the spectrum, and he sees, you know, he communicates through a tablet mainly, and through the camera on the tablet sees this creature. And it's like a horror movie with kids, and they all see this whatever this thing is. And I can't, was it look? And he just, you know, it's like he wants to be a friend. Will you be his friend? And I cannot remember.
Oh, I see. Okay, it's Come Play.
That's it.
A little boy befriends a terrifying monster and come play this Halloween.
Yeah. It's
Oh yeah, it does look.
it
Pretty cool.
actually looks kind of interesting.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all for that.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's Halloween. Um, and I am struggling to
But
find anything
is there
between
a new Stranger Things season
next year.
next year? Okay.
Yeah, because they're always July. Like they're in
Gotcha.
well, the
That's
last
right.
one was in July. Anyway, I think the next
Yeah.
one is too.
Okay.
But there's, yeah. I mean, if Soul doesn't get moved to Disney Plus like they did with Mulan, it comes out November 20th, which is the same weekend that No Time to Die comes out. So that's honestly, man, there is nothing between now and then. Like there's some movies that I've never heard of, and that's and I mean this is coming from me. I've been trying to stay on top of all this, especially since it's what am I walking back into? And the answer is honestly nothing.
Yeah, the future of the movie theater seems kind of bleak until we get some sort of vaccine.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's gonna be rough going for a while,
yeah,
for sure.
I don't know what they can do to get people in there and make them feel safe. I really don't know. I because I know I probably won't be going back until there's some sort of vaccine, something to make me feel better.
And I wouldn't blame you. I
Yeah,
don't and I mean you can see online news articles from everywhere about theaters that are hey, they reopened, and it's like that's great, and maybe they did some decent business one weekend,
right.
and then the rest it's like okay, we've seen you know nostalgia programming doesn't work as well at movie theaters as you might think it would.
Right.
They didn't come streaming out to see Rocky on the big screen again. It was there's all these movies out that are old content. I mean, what Empire is having its 40th anniversary, right? And and so that's out in theaters again.
Oh, okay.
It's not drawing numbers. I think it's
Yeah.
40. It's 35 or 40. I think it's 40. I think it's 40.
No, you're right. You're right about the year. I just didn't know they put it back in the theaters, but that makes
Yeah,
sense.
but it's not really. It's not drawing.
And if you're,
You
and
know?
I mean, that's the kind of movie that's going to get people back in the theater too. That's
Yeah.
like as a nostalgia trip. It doesn't get bigger than Star Wars.
Yeah, but I mean, like DreamWorks has been building because they've got the Croods coming out on Thanksgiving. They've got the Croods sequel coming out. That was the sequel that was rumored, was announced, and then was canceled. And now it's like, hey, by the way, this comes out on Thanksgiving. It's like, wait, what? You guys made this?
Right.
Like the last we heard, you scrapped it. No, we made it. So they're doing like a movie. It looks like they're trying to program, like a movie, a DreamWorks movie a week or something up until then. They're showing. I don't know if it's. I think they're starting with Shrek or How to Train Your Dragon, one of them, and then they're doing the other one, and then I think they're doing Minions, and then I don't know what else they're doing. But
Yeah.
they've seen, you could see online the tickets are up in advance, but I don't, these things don't draw like you expect them to. You would think that, I mean, hell, some theaters have Jurassic Park back.
Right.
You would think that people would love to go see Jurassic Park in theaters today with
Yeah.
today's technology, with today's projection and especially sound technology. It's got to be amazing, right? They're not knocking down the doors. It's just and the thing is they wouldn't be that much anyway. Reissues and re-releases historically don't make a ton of money, and it's got to be something really really big to have a re-release that does much. The last one that did any kind of real damage at the box office, I think, was when they redid The Lion King for like its 20th anniversary or whatever it was. When they did it like in 3D or whatever.
Well, you mentioned Jurassic Park. When does the next one come out?
Next year after.
Oh, okay. I rewatched the last one again, and I didn't really like. I'm so torn with that movie because it did things in that series that really pushed it forward. It was just so different. It was so bizarre.
Yeah.
But like I love where it set it, what it set it up. I I don't want to spoil the last Jurassic Park movie, even though it's been out for a while.
Well, just the fact that it really opens everything up. Like
Yes,
it gets wild, and it's not afraid of that.
But not just like the end of the movie and where it leaves what the next one's going to be, but like the ramifications of one character specifically in that movie.
Yeah.
What that means moving forward. I don't know. It's just I'm really excited to see what the next one's going to be about. I know it's going to be bigger and it's going to be, how vast it's going to be, but I also think where they went with science in that movie, they should have done years ago. I don't know. I think I rewatched it and had more of appreciation than the first time. I told you, remember the first time I saw that there was a crying kid in the theater, and I was just so annoyed by it. It ruined the movie for me. And then watching it again at home, I was like, oh, this is actually like fucking Resident Evil. Like, this is kind of cool. I had a really different experience. So I don't know. So anyway, that's crazy, man. If Jurassic Park can't get people in the theater, if Star Wars can't get people in the theater, Hollywood's going to take less and less risks. They're on not just, how much they're going to spend on movies, but what's going to be made, who's going to be in it. It's unless, maybe we see a resurgence of smaller movies put out on streaming services. I'm assuming
that's what you're going to start seeing. You're gonna start seeing that.
This sucks for the movie theater. This sucks for the people working at the movie theater. Like,
you're telling me, man. But it's good for consumers, and I think that eventually, you're going to start seeing that get pushed back into theaters, because eventually streaming services can only go so far, really.
Well, it's hard to tell these businesses, just wait for next year.
Yeah,
like just pause and wait for next year. It's like, no, they're gonna lose their business. Lease is gonna be up, especially all the mom and pop movie theaters. They're gonna be gone, and the big chains are gonna close. A lot of their stores are, I imagine the big ones will be fine, but like even Disney just cut thousands of people in Orlando for Walt Disney World.
28,000 staff, 28, I think, from their theme parks.
Yes, I'm afraid. It's not going to stop with Disney. I think that, a lot of these industries that rely on people going and being there, no one, sure, a ton of people are going to go. Disney has a ton of people there every day, but not enough people are going to feel safe. I don't see people feeling safe until there's a vaccine, unfortunately. So I don't know. It's wild to think about that. I don't want to stay too much in the downers about it, but I don't know. I hope that a lot of the mom and pop places can hold on and think of other ways to get people. I don't know. I've seen a lot of like drive-in theaters pop up, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, drive-ins have seen a pretty decent comeback, and they've been doing like all kinds of thematic stuff. And it depends on where you live. They tried to do, and I guess they did. I heard about it when it was announced, and then I didn't hear anything about it after that. But they turned like the back lot of the mall down here into a drive-in theater, which is great. And then I saw their movie lineup, and I was like, oh yeah, I live in semi-rural North Carolina. They're like almost all Christian movies.
Oh, okay.
But it's ones that were big, it's I Can Only Imagine. It was whatever the follow up to that one was from this year. I Still Believe, that's what it was called. And then there was I forget what the other two were. One of them actually sounded kind of decent, but I can't remember what it was. But I get that you have to know your audience, your area, and that's fine. That's smart. That's smart business.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, speaking of movies, what do we have looking forward coming out like next year?
Moving forward, just kind of news wise, we heard about the Suicide Squad and just the giant. I forgot to throw it in down here, but just how many bizarre characters James Gunn is having in this movie.
Yeah,
it's madness to me. And I mean, hell, the was it the Peacemaker, the guy that John Cena is playing, already got
Mhm.
a straight to series order at HBO Max.
Yes.
That's nuts. That's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. They said his character is like Captain America, but an asshole that has to kill. He'll even kill to get his point across. But he's just like, I'm in. Sign me up, Captain
I
America. That's dickhead.
yeah, right? No kidding.
And
Um,
that I could totally see John Cena like, he said something like he has to keep making compromises. I'm just like, yes, that's perfect. And I could totally see John Cena playing that with a straight face, but it being super funny. And I think even the poster said, "Fuck, what's his character's name again?"
what, the Peacemaker?
Yeah, it said,
Yeah.
"Fuck, it's the Peacemaker." Yeah, so there's ton, dude. The character list is just bonkers.
Yeah, it's wild. You've got Idris Elba as Bloodsport. Joel Kinnaman is back as Rick Flag. Peter Capaldi is the Thinker. I mean, come on, that's brilliant. That's magnificent
Right.
casting. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. Alice Braga as Sol Soria, which is going to be an interesting. And some of these are weird pulls. Pete Davidson as Blackguard. Um, David Dismalchian. I'm really sorry. It's terrible. He's playing Polka Dot Man. They're putting
Yeah.
Polka Dot Man in a movie. Are you kidding me?
Right. Right.
Michael Rooker as Savant. Nathan Fillion as TDK. Storm Reed as Tyler. Daniela Melchior as Ratcatcher 2. I mean, they're skipping right to Ratcatcher 2. I think it's fantastic. Sean
Right.
Gunn as Weasel. Steve Agee as King Shark. I mean, come on. King Shark. The resurgence in King Shark came from the Flash TV series. Because they put him in like 2 episodes and everybody lost their minds. They were like,
Well, he's also really popular in the Harley Quinn series, which is I think Ron Funches
Right.
plays him.
and that was something else. Like every time King Shark's turned up, like when he first turned up in the Flash, everybody was just like, "What is this thing?" And of course, like
Right.
hardcore DC people were like, "Oh my god, they just dropped King Shark into a TV show." There was no
Right.
build up, there was no nothing. He literally just turned around and there was King Shark. But it took off and it was great. And so yeah, they've added him into other projects, and so we're starting to see him more and more. They still haven't said who Taika Waititi is playing. We know he's in this movie, but they've never announced who he's playing.
Interesting.
So I it's hard to tell, but it's just that it's ridiculous, this cast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's by far my most anticipated DC movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's out. What is it, next year? Let me find it. What 20? I had it. Where did it go? August 6th next year.
Perfect.
And we had some Black Adam news. They not only did they announce that Hawkman is going to be in it, but Aldous Hodge is going to be playing him.
Oh yeah.
And I am a huge fan of Aldous Hodge. I loved Leverage. He was Hardison on Leverage. He was in Straight Outta Compton. He's been in a handful of things, but he is due for his big moment.
Yeah.
He's overdue for his big moment.
And
really.
Hawkman done right, it's pretty good. Like he's an awesome character.
Yeah, and this is an interesting choice because this is a little outside of his usual wheelhouse. Because Hawkman is almost in every incarnation is just a giant, jacked up meathead jerk.
Right.
Really.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
even look at the Arrowverse version of it. He
Yeah.
still wasn't really all that different.
I feel like Hawkwoman has been more represented than Hawkman in outside of the comics.
Agreed.
But I didn't even realize this. Maybe we've talked about this before, but like the Justice Society, the JSA is going to be in this movie. So we're going to get Hawkman, probably Dr. Fate. I don't even know who else would be in it, but like Atom Smasher, I think they talked about.
Yeah, I think they said Atom Smasher. It's going to be wild, man.
Yeah.
Who knew that the DC saving grace from a movie standpoint was going to be the Shazam side of the universe?
Right. Yeah, everyone loved the Shazam movie. So,
It was
um,
good.
yeah, and I think if The Rock can totally be a compelling, it's almost like I have a feeling by the end of this, he'll be the bad guy, but at the same time, I feel like people will be like, he's got a point,
Yeah,
and
it's
he's not like a mustache twirling villain. He could be redeemable or
right.
whatever. Yeah.
It's gonna be the flip side to Aquaman, because I feel like the
Yes.
way Momoa did Aquaman was, I am a rightful and righteous king, but I have to
Yes.
balance where Atlantis resides in relation to the surface world. Black Adam is going to be the other side of that, where it's going to be, no, Kandak comes first, and look, you guys can do your thing, that's fine if you leave us alone, but anybody wants to mess with us and I will wipe you off the face of the earth.
Oh yeah.
Do I make myself
Well,
clear? Like,
yep. Oh yeah, yeah. He's gonna be. I think that whenever they hopefully have like another Justice League movie, he might be like the Vegeta, where he comes in and he's not the guy they want to help, but he's the help that they need.
yeah,
And speaking of Momoa, dude, did you see the Dune trailer?
man, oh my god, I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
I I gotta be honest, I'm not entirely crazy about the fact that most of this cast makes you snowblind. I'm not.
What do you mean by that?
I'm not real crazy about like how. And in fairness, we don't see a lot of the natives of Arrakis, but
What do you mean by snowblind? I don't understand that reference.
man, there's too many white people.
Oh.
There's so many, and I understand that in some places it's actually necessary. I get that, because the whole most of the aristocracy and what have you, I understand. I get that. But if they, if we start seeing Paul hanging out with the people of the planet and they're all the same kind of pale as him, I'm really gonna hate that. I really
It
am.
makes sense that he is, though. But I mean,
Yes.
you have Batista, you have Momoa, you have Oscar Isaac. Like you have Zendaya. These are not white actors.
No, and that's fair. But I
I
worry.
can't think of the other faces that I saw
Yeah,
besides them.
and I
Those are
just
the main actors, right?
yeah. I just worry though, because Dune is from that era of science fiction where it was
Mm-hmm.
all white savior stories. I understand. I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying I
Oh,
feel like
he's
there's
not the savior. I don't want to spoil Dune, but he's
well,
not.
but I mean
He doesn't save anything.
it's well, but I mean, yeah, like
No, or maybe I'm misremembering.
I think you're misremembering the whole.
He's set up to be that, but he's not. Or maybe I'm totally misremembering.
I think you're misremembering.
Dude, I hated that last Dune movie that we watched.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
It was a disaster.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. Oh, it was terrible.
But I thought, yeah, I think I'm maybe misremembering, because I thought the whole idea was that they set him up to be that, but he's not. So yeah, I guess I'm totally wrong. Yeah, I'm going through the cast here. I don't see a lot of white faces like you're saying, but
I just
I don't know.
I worry that it's going to fall into this. Hey, we grabbed names instead of people, and I'm gonna be the big test is going to be seeing, when Paul becomes, I can't remember the name of the mouse, but when he's among.
You know what I'm thinking?
What?
I'm such an idiot. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I know where I was getting that information from. I was watching a booktuber talk about what happens in future books. So.
Oh yeah,
whoops.
yeah. Once you go past,
Sorry.
you go past the original Dune, it gets weird.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It gets. I think they do what you're talking about, where they're like, they correct, like, oh well, just, or what's the word? They
Retcon, I think. Is that what you're looking for?
retcon, but it was too. This is what you expect, so we're gonna do something different.
Right.
At least that's what I remember from it. Sorry, I'm like mixing it all in my head, what I actually knew and what I saw in some stupid YouTube video. But I, I hope you're right. I hope that in the movie they do that. Now, I hope that they take the mistakes that people or the criticisms that people throw at Dune, like you said, like the whole Messiah, the White Messiah or whatnot, and they learn from that.
Yeah.
And
I
and
hope so.
yeah, because no one wants to see that. I'd rather see someone be to fight against that. I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or to be some sort of twist or something.
Because it's,
Man,
I mean, as interesting as that story is, and there's a lot of great elements to it, all the science fiction around that time was white guy lands somewhere and saves them from the evil white people.
yeah,
I mean, it was, I mean, look at John Carter of Mars. What?
right.
It's I mean, hell, look at Avatar. They're still making them. But
Yeah.
it's that story, and I'm so tired of that story. I hate that story. And I
Yeah.
get the idea of person learns to embrace other culture and defend them.
Yeah.
I get that. I understand that context. But it's
I guess that's why I gotta get that's where I do have to say I'm glad that because these characters that they casted, like Zendaya's character was not someone of color in the last one.
True.
A lot of these characters were white. You're absolutely right. They were white actors that played them, and they're not in this film. So I do hope that moving forward, that's the thing. I want this to succeed. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say if it's good. But from the trailer, it looks fucking amazing. It looks 10 times better than that thing that we saw. It was a movie of, it was what do you call it? It was of its time. So I imagine I know why people liked it, but man, it just felt like such hot garbage when we watched it.
Yeah, the problem was that movie needed to wait to be made until today because the concepts and everything in it could not be replicated on film with the technology until this point.
I agree. It was kind of like Lord of the Rings was made at the perfect time where it had the mixture of CGI and physical things. It had the studio behind it that actually, when they did decide on 3 movies instead of, they were going to do like 1 or 2, it fell in the best time to make a movie like that. And you're absolutely right. Dune was made way before its time. It should have waited. It wasn't as lucky as, like, let's say Star Wars, that they somehow put that together,
Yeah.
And we all know the story of Star Wars, how it was right before it came out. It looked nothing like it did when it came out in the theater. But you're absolutely right. I could agree with you 100%. They should have waited for it because it looks like now that vision is going to come to screen. And that's the thing is I bought the most prettiest looking book I've ever bought for Dune. I was walking through the store and I was like, oh my God, I have to have this cover. The pages have this teal blue on it. It's sitting on my shelf. It's sitting on my shelf because I'm still going through a Stormlight archive, which is gigantic. But I definitely want to read I want to read Dune before I see the movie. I'll go through that. But man, I don't know. I was so excited when I saw that. It's just such a well put together trailer, and it explains the world better than the movie that I saw did before. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, like I felt like I've learned more from this than I did. I don't know. Maybe I was a little too harsh when we watched that movie and we did the commentary for it.
Oh no, you were fine.
But I feel like I've turned on it so much. I've just done a 180 on Dune, getting excited for it, seeing this trailer. Like I would have called you crazy if when we watched that you were like, hey, they're making another Dune movie. Are you excited for it? I would have been like, I don't know. This is a little too much, but
yeah,
it's got me so interested in the world, the politics of it, all that stuff.
Because it's an interesting world. So much of the sci-fi from that time, if you stop at the first book, you're fine. Like Dune is a great example. Ender's Game is a great example. There's I don't know how many sequels to Ender's Game, and they just wreck everything.
Yeah.
It just stop at 1, and then you're fine.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna send you this YouTube channel. I can't find it right now. Where this guy he's known for he does Critical Role type stuff. He has a campaign. People watch it. It's cool, but he spends 20 minutes pitching Dune to somebody that's never read the book, never seen the movies, and he does it in such a way where he doesn't even mention stuff from the movie. He just sets up the world of Dune and the politics and all that. And I'm going to send it to you. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I remember after watching that, I'm like, oh my God, was that what the movie was all about? Because I didn't catch any of that stuff about, what happened to the people there and like what the spice really is and all that stuff. I was so lost when I watched that movie.
Yeah.
But yes, I'll send that to you after. I can't think of the name of it now, or I'd say it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try and find it before the end of the show. But yeah.
But no,
Anyway.
I'm excited for it. Like it's good. It's gonna be good.
Okay, it's Matthew Colville, and it's called Dune Part 1, the Plantiologist. So I'll send it to you. It's actually 11 minutes long, so it's not too bad. You can watch that later.
But yeah, I don't know, that can be interesting. I give that a shot. See what that's like.
I love the way he set it up, and it just held my attention the whole time. But yeah. So anyway, what besides the Dune? We saw the Dune trailer, Black Adam. What else we got?
There is talk of a Warcraft sequel being made.
Yeah, I saw that. I've ever since I've been playing WoW again, all I can think about is like, holy shit, they need to bring back. I even went and got the movie on Amazon, which is like $6 or $7, by the way. I just keep thinking about how such a missed opportunity it is that this is not an ongoing movie series, or I would hope a television show. I think this would be way better as a television show. I understand budget-wise to have a bunch of orcs and stuff like that. It would be insane. But man, there is so much lore that it's like that Warcraft movie I thought was really well put together. It did a very good job of explaining orcs and humans, how the orcs came to Azeroth. But I felt like we saw 3 places in Azeroth, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it was mostly humans. I think there was one scene where you get to see high elves. You don't even get to see night elves, which is like the elf of Warcraft. Like when you think of Warcraft, your mind goes to night elf because that's like the coolest creation that they ever did.
Yeah.
Like the druid, all that stuff. When I say there's enough lore for Warcraft to do a television show for 20 years, I'm not kidding. Like I have 3 giant books next to me, the Chronicles, that are just the prequels to Warcraft 3 essentially, because Chris Metzen created so much. They didn't just create the gods. They created they created this, like, for example, there's this chart in the first book, and it explains you have the Shadowlands, you have dark, you have light, you have void, how the magic works. You have the old gods, you have the titans, you have the first builders. It gets so far beyond just like one realm, heaven and hell. It's like this. There's like 8 different places. Actually, the next expansion, Shadowlands, I'll probably stop because I'm probably confusing a lot of people. But there's so much to go into with Warcraft that it's insane that we only saw orcs and humans really for the first one. There's Tauren, which are like cow people. There's trolls. There's gnomes. We saw the dwarfs, which was kind of cool. But like, there's so many. The Pandaren, like, there's this whole thing about Pandaria. There's so much to be tapped there. And even if you don't play Warcraft, go look at the CGI trailers. Go look at the trailer for Warlords of Draenor, where he goes back in time to save his father from drinking the evil, orc, or the evil magic shit, to save not only his father but his entire race, and rewrites Warcraft 3, or the latest trailer for Battle for Azeroth, where it's so easy to follow. You have the Alliance, you have the Horde. They both get their time to shine in the trailer. Both say for the Horde, for the Alliance, and it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
I think that if they did a Warcraft 2, it should be the story of Warcraft 3. I know that sounds confusing, but if they did a sequel to the Warcraft movie, you tell the story of Thrall, which, if you've seen the first Warcraft movie, that was the baby at the end that basically was Moses floating down a river. You tell the story of him. You maybe spend a few minutes explaining how he got to be where he's at now, kind of like the leader of the Horde. But you open up with the story of Warcraft 3 with Thrall going over to Kalimdor to become to basically set up camp and have a home for his horde, not only his horde but like the Tauren, the trolls, and everyone else along the way that he helps out. You tell the story of Warcraft 3, which is the Burning Legion and invading, and so you have the Alliance, which are the humans, the Night Elves, blah blah blah, and you have the Horde. You tell that story. Also in that story is Arthas, which I think for the first three, for Warcraft 3 and Warcraft the game, the first three expansions, it was mostly Arthas. He is, he is essentially a prince. He's kind of like the chosen one. Everyone thinks he's going to save the day, and then he doesn't. It's kind of like Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, you name it. But I hope they tell that story, because that story is easy for people to understand. It's easy for people to go, hey, that's the good guy at the beginning of the movie, and then towards the end go, oh no, holy shit, what have we done?
Yeah.
And you have the story of Thrall and the other humans that are like, we're not really with this guy anymore. He's kind of fucking crazy, killing everybody. So I don't know. I hope they do that. Warcraft 3 is really where people were like, oh, there's characters in this game, not just orcs versus humans in an RTS. It's like, oh, okay, there's like actual characters here, and they were telling a story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that Chris Metzen shared it. That's the only reason why I thought it gave any kind of credibility to it, because he is kind of the grandfather of Warcraft. He, it's a game. It's not like one person invented it, kind of like Star Wars with George Lucas, but it's his baby. He's the one that was in charge of the story since Warcraft 3. Even Warcraft 2 he worked on, but like all these characters are his baby. He's the voice of Thrall. He's the voice of Varian, Ragnarok, like a lot of characters, and it's his storytelling that he put his blood, sweat, and tears in, all the way up until like Legion. So yeah, anyway, I could go on, and we could have like a whole Warcraft cast, but I'll stop. But I do hope that happens, because it could be bigger than Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was massive, but it was just humans, right? Like, this could really be so diverse and have so much more of the fantasy to it. I'd even take a CGI. Like, if they did the same quality of CGI they do in their trailers, I would much rather a CGI TV show than a real movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because, I mean, their trailers are ridiculous.
They're so good. The Battle for Azeroth had like 4 or 5 trailers to tell the story of basically this orc wanting to die as a warrior.
Yeah.
He was tired of the way the Horde was being run. Everything was going to hell. There was no honor in what he was doing. You don't have to watch. You don't have to play a second of the game. Just watch those 4 trailers, and you get the story of like, oh, okay, I get it. Like he goes back and he gets Thrall, and he's like, we don't get to what does he say? We don't get to hide. Yeah.
It's something like that. But yeah, I know exactly. I know what you're talking about, and it's
so good.
And that's it. You don't have to know the specifics to look at that and go, oh, I understand this story. Yeah,
it's so well told. And the story of Warcraft can get just so much stuff is there. But at its heart, it's these people just trying to survive, and there are just bad shit at play that they have to figure out, and it kind of goes back and forth, like, hey, we should be all friends again, and then they go back to fighting, and then hey, we'll be all friends again.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff, and I think if done right, this could be massive. So who knows if it's even real? It's just a rumor. I hope it is. Get some good names in it. I still think it's the biggest, or it's the what is it? The highest grossing video game movie of all time, mostly thanks to China.
Yeah.
So who knows? We'll see. Like I said, I think studios are going to take a lot less risks moving forward, and maybe go with things that are like, hey, that's a known quantity. We can do something with that. This has giant encyclopedias of a blueprint of what we can do.
Fair.
But yeah, sorry, I'll stop. That's too much Warcraft. What else we got?
Well, we got a decent bit of Disney Plus news over the last little what have you. We got they've cast She-Hulk. They got Tatiana Maslany, which is a name I am not familiar with, and I like that. I like that it's somebody I look at and I just go, I have no idea. Like, I got nothing for you. I like that it's not just established name after established name.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Oh, okay. She was in Orphan. Oh, she's from Orphan Black.
That would be why I don't recognize her.
Yeah. So she's not like big or anything like that, but that's what I recognize her from. That's good.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
They.
I mean, that's perfect because she had like 5 different personalities. Yeah, like that's perfect for a Hulk.
Nice.
Yeah.
But we've also got they have said that Sam Jackson is going to be coming back as Nick Fury in a Disney Plus show. They didn't say Nick Fury is getting his own Disney Plus show. They've just said he's going to be back in a Disney Plus show.
Okay.
So it may be a Nick Fury show. It may be one of the shows that's already been announced. We've got She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and Moon Knight. I think there might have been one more. But so I mean, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out eventually. Yeah. But
I hope they invest a lot more in the shows. I'm way more interested in Marvel TV shows moving forward. But do you think they'd do another Shield? Do you think they'd bring that back, or you think that's now done?
I think that's done.
Okay. Oh, there was Loki. That was the other thing. It was Loki.
That was it. Yeah, that was the other one.
Yeah, dude, in WandaVision. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that. We got the first trailer for WandaVision, and it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I like this. It's weird. They're taking risks with this because it looks so batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what you want for those two characters.
Oh yeah, no question.
Yeah.
And we also got the first trailer for The Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah, man, looks good.
Which I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than I'm excited. I really wish I had something else. I just want it. Is it time for this already?
Yes. Dude, I'm so excited for that. It looks so awesome. Our girl Sasha Banks is in it too, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what they do. It's one of those, they didn't show a lot, but they did show some cool stuff.
Yeah.
They showed just enough they needed to keep me interested.
Yeah. The line of thinking that I keep seeing, it seems to be, if not, I think it's more fan casting than anything. I think it's just people projecting. I don't think this is who she's actually playing, but they're thinking she's Sabine from Rebels.
Huh.
Which would be an interesting choice.
That would be interesting. I don't know if I see that. I think she's a Jedi of some sort. At least that's what I'm getting from the hood. Maybe that's just... Oh, didn't they say that in the trailer? Didn't they say that like there's Jedi or like your Yoda's kind or whatever?
They talk about, the mystery of the Jedi, these sorcerers and what have you. But it never ceases to amaze me the lack of knowledge of Jedi in the Star Wars universe, for as big as they were. And even just, I mean, surely there are people there who fought in the Clone Wars.
I have to disagree with you because in 2020, I never thought there'd be so many people so confused about the events of actual factual things.
And
how easily people are manipulated.
Yeah,
on a mass scale of events that actually happen. And think about like the galaxy, like they're on other planets where they just don't know of these things. Because I think there was only like maybe 1,200 Jedi. There was not that many Jedi that existed in the universe to begin with. And if you think about like the vast number of people in the galaxy, you're 100% right. But I do think 50 years in the galaxy can change and make people like question what's real, what's not, what they were told, what's not.
Fair. Let me come at this from a different way.
Yeah.
Given the particular history the Mandalorians have with the Jedi, I'm a little surprised that that's never come up. That he doesn't seem. I know he wasn't born a Mandalorian. He's not born on Mandalore, but there needs to be some explanation as to why his particular tribe, if you will, doesn't seem to have imparted any. He doesn't even recognize the word Jedi. It seems like.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And also for a bounty hunter, that seems weird. Like he's never never come across this before, in any kind of sense.
I'm trying to think. It's like, so yeah, you're right, because he was a kid when all that happened, and then they went away.
Right, and so I get that he was adopted into this particular group of Mandalorian, this particular, like I said, tribe or family or whatever. Right. But it's
not like this knowledge was lost over hundreds of years. It was lost over like 23 years or something.
Right, and Mandalore as a planet and as a wider culture was still very much a thing. At the time, because they go on to talk about what is it, the purge or the cleansing or whatever it was that they suffered at the hands of the Empire, that the Jedi came and helped them with. This is post Empire. This is post Return of the Jedi. This is post the original trilogy. So there's Mandalore itself as a homeworld is very much aware of the Jedi. So these guys must be some sort of splinter group that has completely lost touch with the main branch.
They have to be, because if you think about it, there's also groups that are, what's from Rogue One, that guy's group that were like, they're the Guardians of the Wills, right? Like they know everything about the Jedi, so much that they're that is their religion, even though they're not Force sensitive. So you're right. It's very bizarre. It's hard to.
I get why. I can get why the average somebody on pick a random planet somewhere might only know of the Jedi as a fairy tale of sorts. I get that, but for a culture, especially a culture like the Mandalorians, where there's so much oral tradition, it really it doesn't quite work with me that he's not. The way they talk about Jedi is a little too, third or fourth hand knowledge, instead of, oh yes, we as Mandalorians once had a giant war with the Jedi. Right.
It's almost as if he should have said, oh, I thought they were a myth. Like that, what I would have believed more than, wait, what are these people?
But it's, so I'm not sure, but I hope it's one of those things that I hope they just explain. And I will take. I'm not picky. I will take whatever explanation it is that they want to give me.
They could easily do it. They could just say the Emperor did some crazy shit, and boop, across the universe, people sort of forgot. Or it blurred their memory of them. There's all sorts of artifacts and shit they can just put in
sure.
there.
Yeah, there are no Jedi or fake news. Like
exactly.
I did look. I mean, it would work. We know this, but But
yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it.
It's what, end of October, right?
Yeah, and I'm still looking forward to that art book. I think it comes out in December this year. For the first season, it's got all the artwork.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Looking forward to that, man. Let's see, what else do we got?
The one other piece of TV news: they HBO Max did pick up season 3 of Harley Quinn.
Oh, cool!
So that's neat. That's a show that I haven't gotten a chance to get into yet.
Yeah.
I have heard very, very good things, so it's just a matter of I just haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, I watched the first episode of Doom Patrol. I want to continue that. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was pretty damn good. Now, is it the same Doom Patrol that was on the DC app?
Yes. Yeah, same show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. I remember watching the the CW version of it, but it's nothing like this. Or at least it's the same characters, but it was way more adult in the thing that I watched on HBO.
Yeah.
Like, it opens up with them fucking and stuff. So I was like, what? Okay, we're going here. But yeah. Cool. Let's get into some video game news because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. We'll jump one for a bit. EA Play, they announced, is coming to Xbox Game Pass. Well, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is basically if you're not getting Game Pass Ultimate, you're just kind of wasting your money, really, just getting regular Game Pass.
Yeah.
But EA Play is now going to be folded into that starting November 10th.
Right. And it's the basic EA Play. It's not the Ultimate EA whatever. Like, it's not going to have the brand new releases, but it will give you a pretty big catalog of EA games to jump into.
Yeah.
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 So that's just another fucking feather in their hat, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. But I mean, even the extended EA Play or whatever it is you want to call it, like for consoles anyway, I mean, it's not a tremendously huge library.
Right.
Maybe it's bigger on PC, but it's not a big. It's not a giant library. It's really not.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, it's not that big on the PC. I mean, I don't know what the difference would be. I know there's like Sims and stuff, but I think the console has Sims. Yeah. I don't know. But there's so much in the Game Pass, though. Like, if there's one thing Xbox has done right, it is have this Game Pass and push it as much as it has, because it's so worth it.
Oh yeah. Oh, no question.
Yeah.
Xbox decided they wanted to take $7.5 billion and buy Bethesda.
Yes. So we talk about burying the lead. It's crazy to think that in the months that we've talked, we have gotten announcements for the PlayStation 5, the Xbox, whatever they're calling it these days, and the biggest news is them buying ZeniMax Bethesda.
Yeah.
Dude, that is massive.
But it's huge. That's absolutely huge.
It's buying Bethesda. That's buying id Software. We're talking now. Microsoft will own Doom, Halo,
Elder Scrolls.
But I was thinking the first-person shooters. They're going to also Gears, and Quake. Like, to think of the first-person shooters they're going to have in their arsenal. It's absolutely insane. You're right. They got, of course, Elder Scrolls, which is probably the biggest Bethesda game there is. Fallout series, of course. Dude, and all the numerous other games and studios that come along with this. I don't have the list in front of me. I don't know if you do.
No, but I mean, it's Wolfenstein is part of that.
That's the other one I was.
Yeah.
Dude, think about this. Like, they have the opportunity to do what Nintendo did with Smash Brothers. They could totally do that with a first-person shooter right now. And what's the biggest fad right now? A Warzone, right? A Battlegrounds. Imagine a Battlegrounds with Wolfenstein, Doom, Halo, Quake, all of these brands under one house. How do you not make a Battlegrounds game where you can pick one of those characters?
That's nuts. Yeah, I never thought about that. That's crazy. That would be awesome. Yes,
and have id do it. Have them work with the Halo guys, but I'd rather it be more of like a Doom kind of shooter. But dude, like the possibilities are endless with that.
Well, I mean, in a sense, I think what they would wind up doing would basically be like Quake Arena, but special guest stars, Master Chief and the Doomslayer, because they've already got BJ from Wolfenstein in Quake.
Right. Yep. Yeah. This can all mix together under the same house, and this is exactly the move Microsoft needed to make themselves to be a real competitor against Sony with this next generation. Because it seemed like before this came out, before the news, they pushed back Halo, which we've talked about before. We are all for holding a game until it's ready.
Yeah.
We don't believe in crunch. These are things that places like Blizzard used to believe. You know, these older or id, for example, these older PC companies. I'm glad that Microsoft has the ability to go, no, even though Master Chief's going to be on the next Xbox box, that might come out next year at some point. I'm glad that they did that, and you know, to I don't know where I was going with this, but I'm glad. Yeah, I have no idea where I was going with this, but I'm glad that it's under Microsoft now.
Yeah.
I am just blown away at. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. Is that, you know what? Let's skip this part. My mind just melted. Let's hold on. Let's cut that out.
No, we'll keep going with this because it's funny enough. But
okay, yeah,
no, I get what you're saying. This idea that they know that Halo is their big moneymaker. They know this is the thing that's going to sell systems, but they're saying, hey, look, you know, this thing's not going to be ready yet.
Right, that's what I was getting at. Is that now they are going to be competitive, because now going into this generation, you know that more than likely, if you want to play the next Elder Scrolls game, you have a better chance of playing it on Xbox, and it's going to come day one on Game Pass. And that's huge. They haven't officially announced if it's going to be exclusive. They've tiptoed around it, saying that they will go a game-by-game basis and judge it on it. But I can't imagine they spent $7.5 billion and not have it exclusive. So this is exactly what they needed. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. I think that everything that's already been announced I think there's already deals in place for at least, if not, you know, I think we're still going to get Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation 5.
I would hope. All I'm saying is I wouldn't. The safe bet is to get an Xbox if you want to play that game, or have a PC.
I think that Elder Scrolls 6 and I keep forgetting, was it Star something?
Citizen.
Star Citizen. Thank you. Was that was that the other one they talked about? I thought Star Citizen was something else.
Oh, Star Citizen is a completely different game. I'm so sorry. That's a whole nother thing. Starfield, or
I think so. I can't remember.
Sorry. Starfield is their big sci-fi open world Bethesda game.
Yeah, I think that those two are. I would gamble they're going to be timed exclusives, but I think you still get them on PS5, because there's no. I was talking to this with somebody the other day, and they said it makes a great point that, you know, how great would it be for them if, you know, hey, you turn on the Elder Scrolls 6 on your PlayStation and the first thing it says is Microsoft Game Studios. Like,
oh yeah, if any studio is going to put their software that they own the IP for on another console, it is 100% going to be Microsoft, because it's going to be day and date with their service. So basically, they're going to get anyone who has an Xbox and has this Ultimate Pass. They got them. They got their month, and they're up by, how much was it? 5 million subscribers,
something like that.
It was like 15 million subscribers they have on currently right now, and I imagine it's going to be much more heading into the new consoles. But not only are they going to have the subscribers from the Xbox, when this comes out, they will have the PC subscribers. You bet your ass. Me and everyone else that has a PC that's capable of doing it will spend $15 to play Elder Scrolls for however long it takes. Not only that, but now you have the opportunity to put it on a console like the PlayStation, which I'm assuming might have more of a player base going into the next generation. Who knows what's going to happen? But let's say that they do. They would be losing money by not putting it out there, because I think whoever's going to buy a PlayStation has already made up their mind they're going to do it. I don't think Xbox. I think moving forward, their strategy is going to be more on making money off of not just the games, the software, but the subscriptions. And so I don't think that it would hurt them if they did, like you said, a time exclusive. If they say you can get this day and date with Ultimate Pass on Xbox, or you can wait 6 months for PlayStation, it's not going to hurt them.
No, I agree.
Yeah. But that being said, I could also see them totally just going, hey, no, if you want to play the next Elder Scrolls game, you got to have an Xbox or a PC. I could see either way, but I think you're 100% right. that would be probably the smarter move, is to just do a time exclusive. And then anything, but that's the other thing. These games aren't coming out for anytime soon. Starfield, I think we haven't even seen. I think some say this week that there was some leaked images which look really cool. But like Bethesda is known for not showing a game until it's ready. I would imagine Starfield is not going to be out until maybe next year or the year after that.
Oh, I'm thinking year after. I think Starfield's not going to be till 2022. Easy.
Yes. But that's why I'm hesitating, because, like I said, they usually wait to show anything until the year it's ready. But you're right. I bet it wouldn't come out next year. It'd probably be the following year. And yeah, it would be stupid not to have some sort of deal with Sony. Now, I don't know if who knows what Sony would do at that point, but you know, stranger things have happened. They have their games. They have Minecraft on other systems. You know, they have Ori and the Blind Forest on other systems. I could totally see them doing that as well. So it definitely made them competitive, and that's what I love. I want, going into the next generation, I want Nintendo, I want Microsoft, I want Sony to be firing on all cylinders and selling systems and selling games. You know, I want everyone to be like, I need to own all three, you know? And so, yeah, I'm really happy for Xbox. With the amount of studios they now have, what was like 23 or so, like moving forward, they could be killing us. Hopefully they do. Hopefully they push out some awesome stuff. We all know, for the last generation, we know Sony can put out some quality games. So we know they'll be fine. I'm super excited to see what Xbox does now, because that was the one problem I had with them the last generation, was that they just weren't putting out any exclusives that I felt were worth my time.
Yeah.
And now that you bought Bethesda, you have me. Like I've talked about on the podcast a million times. I love these PC games. I love Doom. I love Wolfenstein. Those are my bread and butter, my classic. I remember playing that as a little kid. And you just bought one of my favorite studios with Skyrim and everything else. So totally sold, totally in. I'm all in. I can't wait for that. I don't have. Should we talk about how hard it is to get a freaking system?
Yeah, it's impossible.
It's absolutely impossible. Now I did get a PlayStation, but I got fucking lucky. I was out and about. I saw the announcements. They said it wasn't going to come out until next year, right? Oh, I'm sorry, the next day. They said you're going to be able to walk into a place, or they're going to do the pre-orders the next day. But then I saw Wario64 on his Twitter say people are walking into GameStop and getting it. I walked into GameStop and I was the second to last person. They said, they handed me a sticker and they said, okay, well, give the sticker thing to the guy behind you, and that's it. That's all we have for the disc edition. So I got lucky. I was able to get it for the PlayStation. I don't plan on getting it for the Xbox at first, because I can just do all this on the PC, so it doesn't make sense for me to even consider that. But in a year or two from now, especially when something like these Elder Scrolls and stuff came, I might consider getting that box instead, especially because they have the $250 one.
Was it? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was a much cheaper. It was a much more affordable option.
I think it's
is it 3?
It's 3. Yeah, because
that's good.
The main models for each are $499. The discless PS5 is $399. The discless Xbox is $299. That's right.
And that's perfect. Yeah. So I'll have the PC games, and I love playing on my PC, but I want to sit on a couch too, right? I want to sit on a big screen TV. The Xbox will be down the road, but I am now way more interested in what they're doing than I was before they bought Bethesda. 100%.
Yeah.
I think they're making all the right moves, especially someone that I imagine someone who, like, this is perfect for the person who can't buy a game every time it comes out. They can't even consider getting more than three or 4 games a year, right? Like if you're paying $15 a month and you have all access to all these things, that's what you get. Like that is the perfect system for you.
Yeah.
I see this selling a lot, and thankfully, well, I shouldn't say thankfully, but I am glad to see the Xbox is just as hard to get as the PlayStation, because it wouldn't look good if the Xbox were still available it means not a lot of people are interested in getting it, and I don't know. You know what I mean. I'm not happy that they made it hard to get. I'm just happy to see that there is a ton of interest and people are buying.
Right.
Yeah. So, sorry, I feel like I've been talking forever.
That's just because we haven't done this in a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I'm excited for video games again. Oh, real fast, this Star Wars game comes out in a couple days, and
oh my god, is that this week?
It blew my mind. Yeah, it's Friday.
Oh my god, that's Friday. Oh, yeah. I totally forgot.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
Like I pre-ordered it a long ass time ago, but oh my god, I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll know where to find. Oh no, I won't be here this weekend. Oh,
is it crossplay? Do you know?
Oh, good question. I'll look real quick. I'm
gonna be getting it for the PC because I eventually want to get that stick. But
yeah, that's man. Ooh. Okay, Star Wars Squadrons. Give me a second, and I'll see if it's.
Yeah, while you look that up, I am very excited about video games. I feel like all I've done is play Warcraft, but at the same time, like it is that weird moment where we're right in between the generations where everyone's kind of waiting for Cyberpunk and all these other games that are coming out. So I plan on jumping on a console again, but it's probably going to be whenever the new one launches. And that's the other thing. Like I never upgraded my TV or anything like that. I've been looking at that. I'm really excited for this generation.
Yes, cross-play support across all platforms.
Fuck yes, yeah.
PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because I definitely want. This is going to be like Call of Duty for me, where I can hop on the PC. My brother can be on PlayStation. You can be on PlayStation or Xbox, and we can all totally play together.
Yeah.
One thing I hope. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like I just as soon as because I can see it now, and I know that when I come back, because I as soon as I come back from work on Monday, like I'm just barricade me in here, get me a couple cans of soda and a bag of chips, and you will you're not going to see me for a week. Like,
oh yeah,
forget it. It's not going to happen. Yeah. I'm going to bury myself in this. I have not been this actively excited for a game in a while.
Oh yeah, man. That's the thing. Like I remember a couple months ago, I was I had a dream that I was going to get a VR headset and all this stuff for it, but nope, that never happened. I have all these other things I have to adult things I have to spend money on. But I had this dream that I was going to do that. Not anymore. But I'm still so fucking excited for it.
Yeah.
The thing is, I guess what I was saying before is that like, sorry, my fucking mind I'm reading over this Star Wars game. My mind just went blank again. I'm just fucking excited for this. I'm so sorry.
No, dude, I'm right there with you, man. I am stoked. I honestly, I can't remember the last time when there was a game coming out and I was like, I want this, I need this, I have to have this. I'm sure it's been within this past calendar year.
Yeah.
But I can't think of one offhand.
Did you see the trailer for it? The new one, the CGI?
The like story kind of trailer.
Yes. Yeah. I thought it was great.
Oh, the Final Fantasy VII remake. That would have been the last time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's true.
So
I think the Cyberpunk I'm like equally excited for, but the Star Wars just kind of holds a special place.
I want my thing is I know Cyberpunk is going to be great. I know it's going to be something I really want to get into. You know what else I thought that about? The Witcher 3, which I have still never played.
Witcher 3? You've never played it? Not what? You've never like picked it up, played any part of it?
Barely. Like I don't think I've played enough to count. Really.
I think you would like it, but it would be one of those games where you would need to set aside some time, like Persona, for example.
And that's my thing. Is like when the first time I tried to pick it up, I didn't have the time, and then I don't remember the last time. And I know I've had all of this free time the last couple of months, but man, I blame you for getting me into Persona, because when I went into Persona 5 Royal, man, by the time I was done with that, I was obsessed with everything Persona. It's insane. The most fun news that I've had in the last month was that the English dub of the anime came out on, I think it was Funimation.
Yeah. Which, by the way, real fast, if you have Xbox Pass, Ultimate Pass, or Game Pass or whatever, you get 2 free months of Funimation. We haven't even talked about the perks of the Game Pass yet, by the way.
I didn't know that. I know they have some like I didn't see that as a perk. I didn't know that.
Okay, so a few things. I have 6 months free of Spotify now because of Xbox Game Pass. Now that was what, last month?
Yeah.
If anyone listening, go to your perks section of the Game Pass and just look at that weekly.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Where in the hell did it go?
Yeah, I got Spotify Premium for 6 months of ad-free music. I had to cheat a little bit. I had to create a new account with a different credit card that I used before, and I got 6 months free of that. I got 2 free months of Funimation.
Yeah, see that right here. There's a 3 months free of unlimited free deliveries from Postmates.
Yep. So if you're hungry and you don't want to get in your car because people are crazy these days, just do that. Yeah, there's so I fucking love that.
Yeah.
These are things that PlayStation doesn't do, and I hope they get on board because. There's one thing we'll talk about real fast. Did you see what's going to be on the PlayStation Plus if you get the beginnings of PlayStation Plus for the PlayStation 5?
Yeah, they're starting the PS Plus collection, which is basically like a PlayStation Lite version of Game Pass. It's still not enough. It's a good start.
It's a good start,
but it's not enough.
Yes, and it's one of those where, like, if you've owned a PlayStation 4, there's odds are you have this game. But real fast, it's God of War, The Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4, Battlefield 1, Monster Hunter World, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy
15.
What is it? 15,
yes, 15.
Yeah. Last Guardian, Ratchet and Clank, Infamous Second Son, Days Gone, Bloodborne, Detroit Become Human, Batman Arkham Knight, Mortal Kombat 5, Persona 5, which is a great deal itself. Until Dawn, and Resident Evil Biohazard.
And here's the thing, that's a great list, but it's games that have been out in some cases for years. And I get it. Some of these are PlayStation classics, and I get it. The Last of Us, God of War, Uncharted 4. Totally understand.
Yeah.
But
the funny thing is Funimation's owned by Sony, so the fact that Xbox is giving away 2 free months, like, what? How does this happen?
Is it Funimation? No, I think it's Crunchyroll.
Is Funimation not owned by Sony?
I thought Crunchyroll was owned by Sony.
Funimation owned by Sony. In July 2017, Sony Pictures Television Networks acquired 95% majority stake of Funimation.
Okay, so yeah, Sony owns Funimation.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
These are the perks that Sony should be doing with, like, they should say, if you have PlayStation Now, you get Funimation. Like, they need to start doing stuff like that, or they are going to fall so far behind Microsoft.
Or add Funimation. If you are a PS Plus subscriber, add Funimation for $5 a month or something.
No, just add it for add it for free. That would incentivize. Because what does PlayStation Plus offer you? A couple games a month, where the Xbox is so much more.
Yeah. Oh no, dude, I have, like, even before the perks, I always argued, Game Pass was better. But they keep me now. They're adding EA Play, the perks that they've added. I didn't see the Funimation thing. I got to sign up for that. But
and the amount of Microsoft has the pockets. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, Microsoft can. Even though they had a bad generation, they can have 2 or 3 or 4 more bad generations, and it probably won't matter.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. If anything, the fact that they have how many studios does Microsoft now have? I think it's 23 or something.
I'll dig that number up, but it's crazy.
I think this generation is going to be a game changer, and Sony has to compete. They have the first party games. But they can't just rest on their what's the phrase? Rest on their laurels.
Yeah.
Moving forward, they can't get lazy with this. They have to be competitive with the PlayStation Plus. I think they really should just tie it in together with PlayStation Now. At this point, it's just they have to be competitive, because then you not only do you have to compete with that, you have to compete with Epic Games. Epic gives out 2 or 3 games a week.
Yeah.
On Epic Games. Yeah, 2 games a week. And some of them are smaller, like Roller Coaster Tycoon and stuff like that. Some of them are bigger, like the Batman games, or things that have been out for a little bit, of course, like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. But I'm looking at my list of games from Epic that I just clicked free for, and I got a ton of them, and I don't pay a service to them. There's no money out of my pocket for these, like Civilization. and Watch Dogs 2. Like these are games that came out in the last couple of years. Borderlands, all of those games. Assassin's Creed. There's like 3 Assassin's Creed games here.
Yeah.
I just never touched. But my point is they have to get competitive. They are not going to be the leaders, I think, for too much longer if they don't add more stuff to it. So
yeah, they've got Xbox has 15 game studios.
Oh, okay. I thought it was much more. Is that including Bethesda?
That may not be including Bethesda right now. I'm looking at under Xbox Game Studios umbrella. You've got 3. Hang on, let me pull up. Give me 1 second. I don't think this may not be including Bethesda yet.
Okay, no. Microsoft now has 23 first-party studios since they've purchased Bethesda. This article is from Kotaku.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, yeah. So Microsoft now has 23 first-party studios. Here's what they're making. And it kind of goes over a list, and it goes over 343 Studios,
right.
Compulsion Games, so on and so forth. So like, there's a ton, dude. I wonder how many PlayStation first-party studios there are.
Not quite that many.
Yeah, there's not, and that's the thing is it's not the quantity, it's the quality, and I think Xbox can totally get there, especially now that they have Bethesda, which comes with id and everything else. They totally can do that, and I think we might actually see, hopefully, fingers crossed, if they're able to hold on to Halo and say we're not ready yet. I would like to think they'd do the same thing with the Bethesda games. And to not push it out until it is ready. We might even get some games that don't have some crazy bugs in it.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm wishful thinking, of course, but...
little bit there, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but we'll see. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Got 13 first-party studios for Sony.
For Sony.
So,
I mean, that's not bad, but that's no... Like, I mean, they're...
Yeah, they got some heavy hitters. Of course, Naughty Dog is probably the one studio anyone would love to own. But you got Sucker Punch, you got Japan, you got a ton of them. Guerrilla, Insomniac, of course, with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I love it. I feel like this generation, it's going to be more competitive than ever.
This is really going to be an interesting generation.
Mm-hmm. And everyone wins.
Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't like the whole console wars thing. It's cool when you're like 7 or 8, but. I think everyone wins now. So like, no matter what side you're on, and hopefully more things are cross play. That's truly when everyone wins, when you can play with your friends, because that's what really counts, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what really matters. The other thing I meant to bring up earlier, when my mind melted, one feature I would love to see implemented on all systems moving forward is Discord.
Okay.
Discord. It's the one thing people on PC use to communicate. It's the thing my guild uses to communicate. I use it every single day now. I would love to see PlayStation have Discord, Xbox have Discord. That way, no matter what system you're on, you can pull up the Discord app in that system and communicate with your friends. So that if I'm playing World of Warcraft and my buddies are playing Destiny on the PlayStation, we can all hop into the same chat together. There's no reason why that should not exist. You can still have your first-party options, like Sony has its chat, Xbox has its own chat, I think. Why not have Discord that combines all 3?
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's how you solve the Nintendo thing too. You just go, okay, we have the Discord app. Now I don't know, they'd have to be very careful because it's a children's friendly thing or whatever, but that's how you solve communication between devices. I think personally. Because that's the one thing. I have a group of friends that play on the PC, and I have a whole group of friends that play on PlayStation, and I feel like I never can communicate with them because they use the PlayStation chat, and I can't do that on my PC. I can't just log into a PlayStation chat. So I hope moving forward Discord is implemented in these, just like Twitch is, just like any of the other apps.
It would make things a lot easier, that's for sure.
It totally would. Like, imagine if me, you, and my brother wanted to play the Star Wars game. It would be awesome if we could just be like, hey, yeah, log into Discord and I'll see you there. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to, like, be on your phone or anything like that. Be right in the game.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they had at the last PS5 event they announced they showed off a little bit of some stuff. They showed off some Resident Evil 8 gameplay, the Resident Evil Village. I'm not. I think I may give that one a pass. I'm not real sold on the first person Resident Evils. They're just not entirely my speed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm glad they're making them. It's different. You know, more power to them. It's just a personal. This just not for me. But
Yeah.
I like that they're at least still creepy. I'll give them that. They finally announced the Harry Potter RPG that's been rumored and talked about forever. It's called Hogwarts Legacy, and apparently it's set in like the 1800s. So it's going to have basically no connection to anything that we've had up to this point. So
Oh, really? I didn't realize that it was that big of a time.
oh yeah, it's a big jump.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's way back, and I like that. I like that it's away because it also gets away from like any kind of technology problems or what have you. Like everything's
This is the Old Republic for Harry Potter.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah,
In a
that's
sense.
cool. That's totally fresh story. No characters that you have to like upset anybody with because of whatever decisions they make. It's a whole new. It's the
Right.
same world, but it's all new characters. That's perfect. That's the way you do it.
Yeah, and I think that's it's I think that's the right way to do it. You know, you're not beholden to anything that came before or anything too. You're not worried about but and it's why you couldn't have done it as like a sequel either, because then it's like, well, what about all the history that came right before this and blah blah blah. You're like, no, this is set like 200 years before. Don't even worry about it.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. It's called Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
There's we got a gameplay trailer for Miles Morales, and it basically looks exactly how you'd think. It's like a hyped up version of the Spider-Man gameplay. It was really just to show off what was different between the two of them.
It looked, if I could steal a word, spectacular.
Go for it. Like that's fun.
It looks spectacular.
This to me looks like what was it? The infamous spin-off that they did that wasn't really a spin-off. Remember, because they did Second Son, which was like a proper full game, but then they did, what was it, First Light or Last Light or something, which focused on the girl that had the neon powers. This kind of seems like that to me. It's like when they or as a better example, what was the Uncharted one? Was it the Lost Legacy?
Lost Legacy, yeah. Which a lot of people love.
Yeah, it's more like that. It's not a full $60 game, but it's a complete experience in and of itself. It's bigger than just DLC. Like it's a proper. It's what an expansion used to be. It seems like.
Yeah, I saw there was some controversy over how they're not giving you a way to upgrade your Spider-Man for the PlayStation 5 unless you purchase this. Like, people wanted the ability to just play their PlayStation 4 game as an upgraded version of the Spider-Man game, which I can totally see why that would be upsetting when Xbox is over there going, hey, no, we're going to be able to do this, plus your saves are going to be there and everything else. Apparently PlayStation hasn't gotten that together. They at least muddied the message of what they plan on doing. I think that sucks. I'm totally getting this Miles Morales game. On one hand, I'm totally getting it. I'm excited for it. But this is one of those things where Xbox just has the upper hand because they're making it so much easier for someone to just upgrade their last generation to the next generation. And it's one of those missteps, I think.
I say this as an unabashed giant Sony fanboy. I think this is going to be a bad generation for Sony. I think they're going to constantly be behind the curve. I think we're going to keep seeing mistakes like this, and it's going to hurt. They may do the whole thing of saying, well, like they're going to do for this generation what I think Xbox wanted to do for the last generation. And then Sony upstaged them and said, hey, all these things Xbox is screwing up that you guys are saying you don't want, we're doing everything right. And people went, yay. And that E3 goes down in history as one of the best ever. I think the table has turned this generation, and I hate it, and I want to be wrong, but I don't think I am.
No, I agree. I agree. And now $70 is so much money, especially to a lot of people, and that's a commitment. Like that's
Yeah, that game better be damn good.
yeah. And so to charge is the Miles Morales $70 as well?
It can't be. It's not a full unique game. It can't be $70.
I think it is. I think it's $70. I hope it's not. I'm looking at. I don't know if you can pull it up on Best Buy while I'm going over it, but
I'll
yeah.
try.
Yeah, I hope it's not, especially a game like that. I have a feeling that's what they're going to do. But I was also looking at some smaller games that are straight up $70, and I'm torn because I understand why they increased the price. But I think this is going to make the Game Pass uh, so much more competitive, so much more desired from someone going, hey, they've got some great games, but you have to spend $70 on them. I can't just spend $15 and get all of them.
Yeah.
People are. I think this generation, that's people are gonna. They're gonna get like, you know what? Especially with everything that's going on with the economy, everything that's going on with Corona, people losing their jobs. Video games are the last thing. Well, hopefully that's the last of their priorities. But
this is a luxury item. Like
it totally is.
And
at the end of the day, you got to feed yourself. You got to feed your kids. You got to make sure the lights are on. And to know that you can get the entire library of Xbox first party and a bunch of other like cool third party that rotate for $15 a month, bet your ass most parents are going to do that than spend $70 on a game for their
in
kid.
A heartbeat. So the standard edition Spider-Man Miles Morales, $50.
Okay. That's not bad.
It's $10 shy of a full game.
It's still $10 more than I would think it'd be 40.
Yeah.
Not as bad as 70, but Jesus, you're right.
Yeah, I think 40 should have been the way to go there. I really do.
Yeah. It's it's rough, especially knowing that you're going to get something like the sequel to Skyrim included in your Xbox Pass.
Yeah.
Like that's bonkers.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's they got to get more competitive. They got to get more competitive. So anyway,
I feel like I worry about Sony this generation. I really think they're gonna constantly misstep. I really do.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of too. So we'll see.
But oh well, hopefully if they have to make these mistakes, I hope they learn fast.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think we got Nintendo probably coming out with a new system next year, like an updated Switch. I'm thinking that's what the rumor is.
Yeah, because I think they're definitely going to keep the Switch brand going for a while.
Yeah, it's been doing good for them. I know that they released the Mario 3D All-Stars collection, which
I picked up. Very, very happy with.
Yeah. How you liking it?
It's, you're getting exactly what you paid for.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, going into it. It's Odyssey, Sunshine, and 64. Like that's, it's not anything big or fancy or special. You're getting it for the nostalgia.
I'm curious to see what they're going to be doing moving forward. I saw that some Pokemon news. They got the expansion coming out next month.
Yeah. They've got a new bundle out that you can buy Sword or Shield with the appropriate season pass now.
Yeah. And there's a lot of content there. There's a ton of content in these expansions. I'm don't take my word for it, but I'm assuming we're going to get a lot of news early next year. Next year is the 25th, I think it's the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. So I'm assuming they'll do something big like they did for the 20th anniversary. My assumption would be because there's been some leaks that we're going to see something with the Gold and Silver. Now, be that you know, we could have Pokemon Soul Silver. I'm sorry, Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Silver Go. You know, I think it was Entei that was leaked. Some game called that like they trademarked that or whatnot for a game. So I'm assuming we're going to get some sort of remake of those. And also Soul Silver and Heart Gold were found in leaked information as well. So I'm assuming, I would hope, that those are going to be ported to the Switch as well. Because I can't tell you how many times I've thought, like, hey, why aren't all the Pokemon games on this system? Like, why can't I just go on here and play every generation of Pokemon? How much money are they losing doing that? If you go on Amazon right now and you look for Pokemon Soul Silver, it's a couple $100.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's if you're getting the real version of it. I actually own Soul Silver. I got it from GameStop for like $50.
Nice.
But you can't find it. Like if you go to GameStop and you search Soul Silver, you won't, like, there won't be one near you. I don't know how I got lucky and got it. But think about it. Like, why have all these third-party people make all the money when you, Nintendo, all you have to do is just port these games to it like you did the 3DS? Why would you wait 10 years to do that?
Right.
Like, it just, that's the one thing the Switch has kind of stumbled on for me, is the backwards compatibility. They've gotten some out there, of course, with what they're doing with the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo games. But man, like, why is not every Pokemon game on here? And just easily, like, hey, I want to play Crystal right now. Let's boot up Crystal. So my theory is that early next year we hear something about Pokemon 25 years, and that they roll out exactly what they did with Mario, and they're like, here's Soul Silver and Gold, here is Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue, and by the way, we're working on these remakes for, like, you know, like a big Switch game. So
yeah,
I'm assuming that's what we'll hear probably early next year, probably in March or April or so.
Fair
February. Enough. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know if there's any more news or anything, dude. We've gone over a ton of shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and whatever we miss, we'll probably pick up next week. Dude, I can't say this. I'm so excited. We're back and we're talking again. There's so many weeks have gone by where I'm like, God damn, there's so much news, and I just want to geek out about it with you. And I'm glad we're back and doing it again. So
yeah, for real, man. Me too.
Oh yeah, we want to thank you guys for listening. You know, coming back and whatnot, and yeah, we'll be back next week. Anything else?
Nope, just hit up the socials and YouTube and all of that stuff.
Yep, we're right there on Spotify. Hopefully we'll get more listeners than Joe Rogan. Who knows? We'll see.
I don't
less
know.
Controversial.
I haven't offered. I haven't offered to moderate a 4-hour debate with anybody yet, but
right, exactly.
You know, we do what we can here.
Right.
Good God, I'll get to. I don't know. I won't. I can't. We can't get. We can't get Elon Musk to smoke weed on our podcast, but I don't know.
That would be. I'd love to talk to him about the Expanse and SpaceX. That would be a dream come true.
Man, you know, go for it, man. Do your thing.
And dude, I think I briefly brought up some books this podcast, but next podcast I'm going to get into a ton of it because I bought a bunch. I've read, I think, like 3 or 4 novels, and I've listened to a few audiobooks since we've talked. So
nice.
I'm going to get more into that because I've just been so into reading, and I may or may not have drunkenly bought a really stupid expensive book that I want to talk about next week.
Fair enough.
That I'm fucking pumped for. So anyway, we'll get into all that next week. Captain.